Welcome, everybody, to another Howling Hour here on the Nerdbox. Thank you for allowing us to start a little late. I was in transit. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make today's show, and my plans and everything freed up just in time. And I poured my glass of whiskey early because we're going to be talking some Scream news. But welcome. So you got myself, Dave. You got Mr. Yoinker, Lucas. We got your friendly neighborhood Noah and Marcus with us this week. So we're going to rank Scream 2 Unalive moments. So how is everybody doing this week? I don't think I really talked to many of you this week, even Noah. It seems like I didn't talk to him that much this week. But then again, this could just be my brain just blanking everything out. So what's going on with you guys today, Marcus?
I'm exhausted, man. I was at NAB all last week, and then my producing partner and mentor, she stayed a few days extra, so I was showing her around town and then getting ready for WrestleMania week here in Vegas. Buddy of mine is hopefully coming into town. Tony Todd's sister, Monique Dupree, so hopefully I get to catch up with her and the family, So yeah.
Nice. So for those that don't know, what is NAB?
NAB is basically a show for like broadcasting mostly, and it shows off the new tech and equipment for the industry, film and television, but most of the panels are like for broadcasting and podcast and news and stuff, more so the actual film. The cool thing for film is you get exposed to the new technology that's coming out. Like I got to play with the new Black Magic camera that they're releasing soon, which is it's a pretty awesome camera. And then of course DJI was there. You get to see all the new toys basically. So yeah.
Cool.
Word up.
Lucas, what's going on with you this week?
Not much. Not much.
Just living.
Yeah, unfortunately. We ball out.
Just existing like a little muscle on a rock, just hanging out, not doing anything for the world.
I was alone all weekend. That's it.
All right. Lucas,
in my home.
Lucas is being modest. I'll speak for him. He actually designed Player 5 and Player 6 for the Stream Board game.
Oh shit! That did happen this week.
Yeah, he did do it. He did do a big thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and they look so good too, man. I was thinking of other characters that he could design, like cheerleaders, like a male and female cheerleader, and athletes. You know what I mean? Something like different. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get lucky and they'll appear in a movie. I sent the character bios over to Mike Levy. If they ever do a sequel, maybe we get to see it. Noah, how about you? What's going on with you?
I saw those images. And I said that they looked good. And then I forgot about them as well.
All right, so just real quick. So, Tim, let me explain why we have to say Unalive. Because if we don't say Unalive when we say the other word, or when we slip up on the other word, YouTube slaps our hand and demonetizes the video. The few pennies that we do make from these videos does pay the bills that Nerdbox has. So the streaming platform that we use is $50 a month. So YouTube pays for our streaming platform and it pays for some equipment when we can afford to pay equipment. So
I would like to note that Marcus
every
is like
penny
the only
works.
one that actually sticks to it. Marcus is like the only one that actually stuck to saying Unalive. Everyone else really just goes off.
To be fair, I've been trying to stay off instead. I've been trying to stay off.
Yeah.
Because we're getting cereal eaten.
All right. So we got some Scream news to talk about. Noah's lagging a little bit, but before we talk about our Scream news, so what we started last week was the official rules for the drinking game. So I'm going to post that, and we'll post it right before we begin. So someone changes their ranking mid-discussion. Somebody has to take a drink. A disagreement breaks out over a ranking placement. Somebody has to take a drink. Someone forgets a character in a film or hasn't seen the film. Someone takes a drink. And that one's made just for Lucas himself. A character is referred to by an actor's real name instead of their film name. someone takes a drink, and then someone gets so frustrated they stand up and leave or leave the frame, someone takes a drink. And I think we hit almost all of those last week, so it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, pretty close.
Hey,
Yeah.
I can't help it since I don't have a green screen. I might cut out. You know what I mean?
Listen to that excuse. All right, boys, let's dive into the news, the Scream news, before we reveal the events of the poll that took place this week. So
I think we should save that until the end.
Man.
I think we should save that until the end.
Yeah, maybe we'll see how it goes. So breaking 2 big stories. This is the second story that broke this week, and that is that the original Scream director, or 7 director, Christopher Landon, said that he exited the film following highly aggressive death threats over Melissa Barrera's firing. So again, he had to come out and clarify that the decision was made way before he joined the film, and he had nothing to do with it. And boys, the FBI got involved. The FBI had to get involved because his kids' lives were being threatened over the whole situation.
This is crazy.
Said that they were gonna,
we actually, there's a real Scream cult because people are so crazy about. Like, listen, I'm pissed off about this film, but not enough to threaten the lives of children. Like,
yikes!
Jesus Christ.
You know, I was expecting something a little lighthearted, like
to the things that we find interesting. We are not serial eaters. We should not be horrible people like that.
Yeah.
Jesus,
he
didn't even make the decision to fire them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was all Screen Gems, man.
That was
he
a
had
studio
nothing
thing.
to do with it, man. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I was expecting something so like lighthearted. Maybe like Matthew Lillard said something funny about the script or something. You know, I wasn't expecting death threats. I was on the bingo card for this evening.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
To me, this is Batman vs Superman all over again, man.
Oh God.
I mean, not Batman vs Superman, Justice League all over again. When Zack Snyder, unfortunate event with his daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then because of the theatrical, he started receiving threats and stuff like that, and the rest of the family. So then, I mean, it was a good thing that the fans rallied behind him, so we could get the Snyder cut of Justice League. But yeah, folks need to just take a chill. Like, I'm upset too. Like, nobody wanted Melissa fired, over something that's
this movie's gonna suck. Like, we know that.
Yeah, so
no need to like threaten someone's life and the life of their family. Like, that's a little bit extreme. If I had to, he's disappearing.
This is like
just a bit extreme.
This is people taking Richie and Amber seriously and bringing it into the real world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That toxic
the real life Ghostface cult is like people fanboying over this movie that they're going to threaten people's lives. That's a bit much, guys. That's a bit.
You are cutting out, my friend. But so like to go right off of what Marcus was saying with the Richie and Amber thing, it is the whole toxic fan. The extreme, Scream, Star Wars, wrestling, and I think there's one other one. They're over the top. Like, people get pissed off of so much stupid shit these days, and it's horrible. It's horrible. Before we get over to our second set of news, so we got Scott Walker with us. Hey boys, how you doing this weekend? I got some great news for you. I got really great news about Scream 7. Oh, let me see here. I'm going to read it first, Scott, before I put it up on here. So let me see.
It's getting canceled.
All right. I think we can talk about this one. I read on the internet about Scream 7. We're returning to Stu's house in Scream 7, and it's going to be abandoned and boarded up. What do you think about the returning to Stu's for the final time?
Horrible waste of real estate.
Horrible architecture. Horrible architecture. Really, really bad lot to put your offings. Really bad lot.
Is it going to be the last?
Yeah, the doggy door in the garage.
Technically, you know what I mean. They said this movie is supposed to launch a new trilogy within the franchise. So, is it going to be the last time we're going to see the house?
We didn't even finish the last one.
Exactly right.
We didn't finish the one before that because wasn't 4 supposed to be the start of a technical new trilogy as well?
It was.
No.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of loose ends to tie up, I guess.
Yep.
2 failed sub trilogies within the context.
Yep. Thank you, Marcus. You said it for me. Yeah, 2 failed sub trilogies. Them returning to Stu's house a 3rd time. I think this is kind of like what we were hitting on last week. We're kind of just regurgitating things now, just to maybe please fans, and I think they're making possibly a lot of bad decisions on things that they think people want to see, and they don't really understand what's going on in the fan base. Like the outcry over Melissa and Jenna not being in it, it's a really big thing. And I've seen it on the channel, just in comments, and I've seen it on our Facebook page where it's a divided fan base. Half the people love Nev, half the people love Melissa and Jenna. So, it's 50-50. And I think maybe we'll have like a really good first weekend for Scream, and if it's not good, it's just going to go word of mouth and it's going to plummet.
Yeah.
Apparently the other,
like
other 50 is pretty violent, but
yeah. Like I would love for them to do another one outside of Woodsboro, like take it to Atlanta, since Kirby brought up Atlanta. You know what I mean, with the cult and everything. The Atlanta murders. Do something different. Yeah.
Genuinely, I would rather they do anything else.
Well, yeah. So that's a good point. Like, we saw Stu's house in 5, so like, is the magic going to be there seeing it in 7, right? Because we already got it back once. Now it's going to be less impactful, right? It's a law of diminishing returns. We got it once. Now you're going to give it to us again. It's not going to be as exciting this time around.
This is
all right.
To put it plainly, this is like the same issue that people have with like Marvel movies nowadays, is because they keep on doing the same thing where it's we're going back to the roots, and then we're going back to the roots, and then we're going back to the roots. Like I love Marvel movies. I'll always sit down and watch at least one, maybe, but I don't care anymore. That's the thing. I just don't care anymore.
Like, to me, if this is true about going back to Stu's house and it is abandoned and boarded up, this is Halloween Resurrection over again. This is a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Not
over
Halloween.
Again. You know what I mean? Like, returning back to the house for what? Like, really, for what? It was cool that how they did it in 5 with Amber and her family moving into the house. That was cool. I thought that was awesome. I mean, I guess it could make sense that it becomes abandoned now because this is 2 massacres in the house. You know what I mean? So I could see that being some type of plot line, but I'm like,
we just take
do we really need to go back? Like,
Yes.
So.
I think it would be funny if it wasn't just because of how many offings happened there. It was just because the bank wanted to foreclose. Like, I think that would be just hilarious. it's not abandoned for any funny reason. It's just
it's the financial system that you're after, not Ghostface.
It's a bad lot. That's what I'm saying.
It's likely to be a 3rd finale of a Scream film in Stu's house. But let's take a look. Scott's gave us some information here on what he thinks. I think it's a good idea to return to Stu's house because if Stu is alive, it's finally returning for 7, but makes more sense for the final battle. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. If it's going to be a return, it's going to be the finale in Stu's house again, only a boarded up Stu's house.
And they burn it down.
All right. Before we get to our next article, King Matthews got in. Did you see that where Courtney Cox was revealed to be the one responsible for David Arquette returning to Scream 7? Yes.
I believe it.
Yep.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still good friends even after the divorce. They still.
You just ruined that whole that whole death.
Why petition for him to come back now? Why didn't you petition for him to not be unalived in 5?
Well, it's because they realize this movie's not going to be making any money. They can do whatever they want now.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Let's go. Wrong legacy character.
Let's take a look at the second set of news. I don't think it's really a bombshell for everybody that's been following closely to what Spyglass has been doing. So Jenna Ortega has recently come out and said that, hey, the reason that I left was not because of my schedule. I left because the movie was falling apart after Melissa was let go. So she stuck by.
Like a domino.
Yeah. Yep. So she stuck by her on-screen sister and bailed right after that. And I think we all kind of knew that. That was kind of some of the rumors that were coming out, and the studios was trying to get in front of it, saying, no, it's their schedule. It's the schedule. So it just seems weird about the timing of this coming out where she's speaking out about it a year later,
Well, I mean, she spoke on it like when it happened, because like right after she dropped, Jasmine Savoy Brown dropped, and then Mason Gooden dropped. They both dropped like one after the other, you know. And then of course, this is like what kind of has me thinking that possibly, like Danny said, possibly a red herring is that they may have brought Melissa back, because like why else would I mean, unless they just doing it for money and they offered the boatloads of money, why else would Jasmine and Mason come back? You know what I mean? So it's either one or two things, that Melissa is back, or they just gave them a boat ton of money, you know, and they did it for the cash. So
yeah, that's my thoughts. Is that it isn't it kind of already one of those things where they are just throwing money at these people? Like they've got what's his face, Roman, Scream 3. They've got
they got the entire Scream cast pretty much.
Yeah, they're throwing so much money at these people that it's hard to say no, even if the project is looking to be quite upsetting.
Grim.
Wouldn't it be something if we see a Hot Tub Time Machine 2 pulled off here, where the whole movie we don't get Melissa or Jenna, it ends and they show up at the end? And they got a decent amount of money to show up in the last 2 minutes of Scream 7 to say, all right, guys, here, look, we gave them back to you. They're going to be back in part 8. We just didn't have time to do it in 7.
I would not.
I can see that happening.
I'd be so pissed off.
I didn't watch Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
I didn't watch any of them. Either of them.
Oh, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything.
I mean, the first one was decent, but yeah.
Hot Tub Time Machine is one of the funniest movies I've ever watched, but 2, never heard of it.
Didn't need a sequel. Didn't need a sequel. So Scott's got out there. Truthfully, boys, what do you think it's going to be like walking around in an abandoned Stu's house after you can imagine her reaction in an abandoned Stu's house? Ah, man, it better be good writing. I can't imagine it, and I'm a writer. I can't. It would be tough to pull off because she did it already once, right? So the shock, again, like her walking through with the house with the gun in 5, right? So we got a bunch of creative people here. You know, can you think of how it would get pulled off? Maybe she wakes up in the abandoned house. She doesn't have to go there. I don't know. Maybe that's where her kids are at.
It's just a little strange. That's all I really have to say about it. It's just a little strange. I feel like if they wanted to do some big climax with Stu, it would either mean more if it was just okay. One, it would mean more if they didn't already go back to Stu's house. As you said earlier, that, you know, that's not something they can really take back anymore. It's in a film, you know, it's not going to happen. It's not going to have the same effect. But I don't know. I like I've said, and like we've been saying in our fan, you know, enactments of what we want Scream 7 to be. Like I'd rather it be somewhere that means something to like the Church of Ghostface or something, or even something that means something to Sydney. I would rather it be a more personal thing, because Stu's house is just Stu's house now. Like we've already revisited it. Now it's supposedly abandoned. Like it's just a house now.
I could see them, like, if they were going to set it up where, like, okay, because you know the real house is actually like a tourist attraction. You know, they have
it's a bed and breakfast
parties
now
and stuff like that. Yeah. So like, say like if it was abandoned and they were setting it up to be like a haunt or something usable for people to come.
Oh, you know, so it could be like a stab attraction or something.
Yeah, something like that. I could see. Yeah, that would be like a plausible reason to use the house, like they're about to renovate it to set it up to be something. I don't know. So
I could see that. But it would be so weird. Like, why is anyone in there? I mean, I guess like, oh, well, morbid attraction. They're gonna go to a murder house and then go see a haunted attraction. But like, why is Sydney going there? Why is anyone gonna do like maybe her kids and then she goes there to find her kids? So like, you know, I guess I do see your point, but like, I don't know, man.
I think that's what it is. If it's in the movie, which it probably is, it's probably she has to go to save her kids.
Yeah. That.
Yep.
Like you said. Yeah.
That's what makes the most sense to me. That's the only reason why I would see us going back.
And then they're dead.
But
alrighty, let's go ahead and dive into our rankings here today. So, Marcus, excuse me, since you were not here last week, you get to lead us off with this one. I'll tell you, shocking, real quick. I see if I can get on here. I'll show you how we ended up for last week. If it's saved, let's see if it's saved. Let's jump into my list here.
Yeah, I want to see.
Let's see if it's saved. Come on, open up. This is how we ended last week, folks. We had Casey's at iconic. We had Steve at rank.
Such an
2.
argument.
We
at
had
the end
Tara.
too.
That Tara debate was massive. We have Kenny at 4. We have Stu at controversial. We have Billy that dropped all the way to Med just in front of Principal Hembry. So that's where we ended up last week. And again, just to go ahead and remind everybody, these are our drinking rules. Someone changes their ranking mid-discussion, we're taking a drink. There's a disagreement that breaks out over a ranking placement. We're going to take a drink. Someone forgets a character name in the film or hasn't seen the film, we take a drink. And if the character is referred to by the actor's real name instead of their film name, we take a drink. And then it gets so frustrating that somebody stands up or leaves frame, unless it's Marcus and he fades into his green screen. So
if I was there last week, I would have bumped Steven up iconic, man, because the sound design and you actually see. It was brutal, dude. Matter of fact, because
there was quite an argument about that to begin with the.
Yeah, him and Casey are definitely iconic, man. Those two.
Well, so we're not going to rehash. We're going to get ready to go right down the path of arguing over last week. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with Phil. So, Marcus, where do you have Phil at?
I actually like his kill, so I would put it as like almost iconic because of the fact that Scary Movie ripped it. So yeah, you gotta put it almost iconic, man, because it left an impression.
All right. I think the one thing that we all kind of agreed mutually on, just to bring you up to speed, is the thing that separated almost iconic and iconic was the build up until that moment happens, and that's what kind of separated Casey from Steven. Like there wasn't a build up; he was there, it happened, fantastic,
You're right.
And then it didn't have a lasting impact as much as Casey's.
I think I got it. Yeah, I get that. So that works. I mean, unless you want to count like what Casey said to Ghostface on the phone. Like,
oh, brother,
you know, my boyfriend is big and everything. Like, I get that. Cool.
All right, so you got Phil at almost iconic. He took it in the ear. Noah, how about you? Where do you think he's at?
I'm thinking for 9 inches of serrated steel into the cranium through the hole. I think we'll keep him at almost iconic just because that sucks. That's gotta suck.
I
don't know how you do the accuracy. The accuracy is on point, but jeez,
we didn't need the 9 inches. We didn't need that bit. Unnecessary storytelling.
He got it, right?
Look, well, now we know that 9 inches through the ear is not something that somebody can handle.
It's too much.
That's what happens.
What did what's his name in Scary Movie say? Sean Wayne, do it again, do it again.
Ooh, it tickles.
I have not watched a single Scary Movie.
Oh man.
All right, so Lucas,
good. You should.
You're breaking down on us already, Lucas, from last week. So,
well, stay with us. It's only the first one.
It's funny that you brought up Scary Movie because the only reason that it's an almost iconic is because of the scene from Scary Movie and how much it has resonated with me over the years. It's almost iconic.
Okay. All right, I'm good with that one. I'll agree with you all. Almost iconic. Is this like the one and only scene other than Scary Movie where something comes through a stall door and right through the air? I think so.
There was a huge argument in the Scream group that I was in because like somebody brought up this moment and they were like, "Oh, that's not believable. A knife wouldn't go through." I was like, "You got to realize, like back then, there are some bathroom stalls that are just like corkboard." And
why do you think they're not anymore? They saw this movie. They realized it's too easy.
Well, I mean, we should have find like an abandoned bathroom and test it.
No.
I'm joking.
So here, Lucas, here's why they're no
Mythbusters.
longer with it in most places.
Glory holes. I don't want to hear it.
Well, peepholes.
That's some type of glory hole. That's not
peepholes.
the right
Like, so working at Walmart when I was 18, people would drill holes in there so they can watch you go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing that I saw, other than a knife going through a door, is somebody having a mirror on the top of their shoe and them sliding their foot underneath the stall into another one.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's advanced. That's
They
advanced
used
level
to,
perversion. That's so weird.
They used to take those old dental, the
like,
dentist
dude,
mirrors.
I'm trying to take
with
a
the long
dump.
stick. Remember those dentist mirrors, and they would tape it to the bottom of their shoe.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, this one's gonna cause controversy, and I'm gonna kick it off. Fucking trash. It's so over the top reaction where she's just like,
she screeched like a velociraptor,
and then she goes onto the stage. It's like, come on, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you trying to do here? Like, she's trying to hit
She's
2
having
home
her
runs with that.
Shakespearean moment. She's like, if I'm going out like Caesar.
Yeah, and that's what she said. Marcus has said it on the show before. That's what she wanted to do, is that she wanted to go over the top, have it bigger than the first one, and it's really distracting, to be honest.
She screeched like a velociraptor.
So I'm throwing it right in there as fucking trash. Nope, not at all. Not for me. Lucas, what do you got?
I actually have it at controversial.
All right, so we're moving up to meh. All right, so why you got it controversial?
It's not my most favorite, and also I'm not a huge fan of Jada Pinkett Smith as an actress. Her character, I can't remember, so I will take a drink. But oh.
It was right there for you.
It's one of those. It's one of those things that doesn't. It stuck with me at the time, especially when I then watched Scary Movie, and they riff this whole scene to pieces. Like, it's really funny. If you guys haven't seen Scary Movie, go watch it. It's very good time. It's talking to you, Noah, but yeah, no, it's just it. I don't know. The over the topness really only sits for like maybe the first 2 times that you watch the movie, and then once you go into like more rewatches, it's just hard to sit through.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, come on. I was happy that she was unalive. This is the movie where I'm getting into.
Yeah, but then you get
where I was like, yep, I'm good. I'm glad this one's done. Glad this one is done. And we're gonna talk about it. We're just gonna keep rolling through. And it's like, yep, good, gone. I don't care. This is the first Scream movie that I was like, yep, thank you for just unaliving them. Thank you.
Thanks for moving on.
Poor Phil, but Maureen deserved everything she got. Yeah. Noah, what do you got?
Oh right, yeah, her name was Maureen. That was like the tie-in to like why it was important for the movie. I forgot about that. See, so controversial would make sense for the reason why it's like the way that it is, because why the scene is that way. I would say just leave her at meh, because I fucking hated the scene. But it is.
But what's your vote?
Meh.
Oh, okay.
Leave it at
meh. Leave her at meh. What's your vote? Meh.
Hold on, let's rewind it. Let's rewind time real quick.
I wish we could do instant replay.
Like I said, hate the scene, but it does make sense to put it in controversial because why the scene is the way that it is. Because I don't remember what the original scene was even supposed to be, but this one was just bad. This is a bad version.
I think it's gonna end up in controversial once Marcus speaks. So Marcus, where you got it?
Yeah, I'm with. Well, I was gonna put it almost iconic, but no, I got it at controversial too because.
Oh, all right. Everybody got to take a drink. He changed it.
Shit.
No, I said I was, but I got it. I'm giving my reason why I put it.
It wasn't mid discussion.
Yeah, it wasn't mid discussion.
Okay, all right.
Lucas brought.
Oh no, I took a sip.
Yeah, Lucas brought up a valid point that the fact that Mickey offed her in front of everybody, and nobody took it serious. I thought that was just iconic.
It's a bit far-fetched.
You know what I mean? Because I've been to a movie theater where people.
It was like a phenomenon.
We were just acting a fool in the theater like that. You know what I mean? So people wouldn't notice it. I remember I forgot what movie it was, but it was like a college town. So, people were drunk, high, everything, acting the fool. People were having sex in the back of the theater and nobody was paying attention, noticing. So it was kind of believable. You know what I mean? Like the 90s was just
90s.
different.
Look, we're going back to it. See, I told you.
I want to be very clear.
This on the last episode.
As somebody who works at a movie theater, that has not changed. It's just less crowded so people can see you. Nobody goes anymore.
And then the fact, like in one of the original scripts, it was supposed to be more brutal, where like Mickey disembowels her and her intestines fall out on the stage. So I was like, that's why I got it controversial. So you know what I mean? So,
you know what? They probably should have left that in. I missed this comment, but so we had King Matthew. Phil, in my opinion, deserved to die sitting there putting his ear next to the wall where someone was using the bathroom. That was really weird.
That
and
is
plus,
pretty rude. That is really fucking
yeah,
weird.
it's weird. Does the guy deserve to die for it? I don't
know.
Hold
on. If you heard somebody saying, making little noises like, "Oh, I'm sorry, honey, I'm sorry," you'll be curious too.
Like, I don't know. Put my ear against that dirty ass public bathroom stall wall.
That is nasty. That is nasty.
Yep.
This is why I love the great
Van Gogh my ear.
This is why I love the great generational debate. Oh, everything was so great in the 90s. Why the fuck were you putting your ears against stall doors in the 90s? All things to put your skin against.
God. Yep, that's right. We're gonna move from that point. So we got Cece. Lucas, where you got Cece at? Right, like I had to put that picture in there because they don't look like she's getting stabbed. At least with the knife, she looks like she's getting stabbed with something else, or she got a finger up the butt. I don't know. Yeah.
Ooh. I have it at meh. Honestly.
Okay. All right.
That's one of those ones where I can remember it, but I can't remember it that well. Like it's not one of those things that like stuck with me.
She fell out a window, right? Or got pushed?
No, she got thrown. She got thrown after being stabbed.
We've seen worse shit happen. Let's be real.
But doggy.
Holy fuck!
Whoa!
That was that vodka.
Jesus. All right. So we'll come back to you. All right, Noah, where you got her at while Lucas recovers from the vodka? He doesn't even know. He's
I'll leave her at med too. Just the silence. Really wasn't, I mean, none of these unaliving moments were super spectacular. If I'm being for real here.
He got a point.
Yeah,
and Scream 2 is my favorite. The unaliving moments weren't as impressive as some of the other films. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we all collectively agreed that everything, like every opening scene after the first one, other than like I guess you could say 5 because we got a Survivor, we got a Pulse. They really didn't live up.
I don't think the openings. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know, but like even like the opening scenes, I don't feel like they lived up.
There are 2. We're not there yet, but there are 2 that do live up. I will say, but yeah.
All right. So Marcus, where you got CC at?
Yeah, I got CC at man, because like one, she just wasn't a likable character, period, to begin with. Even though I love Sarah Michelle Gellar, and then 3 again, the unaliving moments in this movie, except for 3 of them, were tame in comparison to the rest of the franchise. So.
Yeah, this one had a little bit of a build up to it, or maybe a little filler in the movie where she's on the phone and she's harassing Ghostface and stuff like that. But it's that's truly the definition of that sound, is that scene there itself. King Matthews has as many times as Sydney fell out a window, I'm surprised she isn't dead yet, while others that get thrown out just die. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, those that got thrown out were stabbed multiple times too.
Well, she's got tougher skin because of plot armor, duh.
Plot armor, yep, that's it.
Steel plated.
She's the Batman.
All right, so we got one of our big ones here. We got Mr. Randy. Noah, where's Mr. Randy at?
That I'm putting it at almost iconic. Actually, you know what? I'm dropping it to controversial.
Okay.
See, now that is an example of someone changing their ranking mid-discussion.
No.
Shit.
Listen, to take out Randy felt really. So that's why I put it almost iconic, because I wasn't expecting Randy to get taken out. Like the buildup was there, but I was like, nah, they won't do it. They will, and then they did it, but they didn't show it, and I don't like that.
Yeah, they showed the aftermath.
Yeah,
they showed the aftermath.
So what a cop out too. What a cop out.
Yeah. Especially for such an important character and for such a cool character that even in death comes back in 3 to be like, I still got you with important breaking news on how to take out the Ghostface of this trilogy.
Oh man, so that
it's on another level.
The unaliving off screen is going to piss off Lukas when he goes and watches Terrifier 3.
Oh,
yeah,
yep.
That is true.
Yep. All right, Marcus.
Believe it or not, that's actually one of the big things I loved about stream is that most of the offings we saw.
Oh no, just wait. It helps. It makes the scene better.
All right, so Marcus, where do you have it at?
I got him at iconic, man, because like King Matthew said, the whole conversation with Ghostface with Mrs. Loomis, it's just that's one of my favorite lines, man. What's your favorite scary movie? Showgirls. Absolutely right. Like that whole build-up was just awesome. And then even though you don't actually see him get stabbed and you just see Mrs. Loomis doing it, the sound design was great, the build-up was great. So yeah, it's definitely iconic for me.
All right, I'm going with almost iconic, so I'm going to leave it right where it's at, because the build-up and the payoff are two different things. Like the build-up was fantastic, the payoff was weak because it was hidden in there. Like maybe, just maybe, if that would have happened inside the college, like when Ghostface was chasing what's her name, Gail and Dewey around, and he was a third person being chased in there, and instead of Dewey getting stabbed up against the glass, it was him. I thought that would have been a lot better of a scene, because excuse me, because I thought that scene with Dewey getting stabbed up against the window was a lot better than this one because of the way it ended. And then they revealed at the end, he's like, oh,
we got a pulse.
He's alive. Yeah, he's alive. So almost iconic is where that one's sitting for me. Lukas, how about you?
I have it at controversial too. I'm not gonna lie. It's a big thing in these like horror movies that I'll like. I'll be watching and I'll be like, oh, can't wait to see how this character goes out, because it's like sometimes it's really obvious when you can tell a character is going to die. And I don't know, with Randy, like Noah said, he's such a big character. It's one of those things where it's like yeah, you can be respectful to the character and not show it, but I think honestly in this setting, in this kind of movie, it's more respectful to show it, especially for the people that come to the movie to see that. So yeah, controversial for me. I don't know, and just with everything that happens after, like in the subsequent movies, it's just like weird for me.
All right, so Marcus, you referenced King Matthews III's comment, so we'll throw that up in there. Randy's death is definitely iconic. The whole back and forth between Randy and Ghostface was my favorite of the series, even though it was Gail's phone that got him killed. Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I think and this is why I wanted to do the what if shows on the channel that got no views, is because I think Randy's arc was not finished, where Dewey's arc was finished. And they kept the wrong character alive, because as we saw, like Randy had a thing for Sydney, and he still had a thing for Sydney in part 2. And if you watch the body language and some of his facial reactions when Derek's around, it's like, what's going on here, right? Randy would have been the perfect Ghostface to be in part 3 and maybe part 4, like a 2-parter on that. So I think they made the wrong decision, because his story arc was a lot better than Dewey and Gail's. So
I agree.
All right. So let's see here. We've gone full circle. That brings us to the first police officer's death, Mr. Marcus, and that first police officer's name is going to be Mr. Andrews.
Was he the driver or the other one? I can't see.
Mr. Andrews is the driver that took the knife across the neck.
I love that whole scene, but the other one got it so much. I'll group him in almost iconic because that whole scene, that whole sequence was just awesome.
All right. You going big? Going big with
I'll
this
put
one.
him in
All
almost iconic because that whole, like I said, that whole sequence with Mickey was just chef's kiss. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna end up dropping it down one because I got it as meh for this one because I think, like you mentioned, the whole scene's very good, but the payoffs is with the next one. So I'm going with meh on this one because it was just a simple punch the glass, slit the throat, all done. So I do like the post. Nope, I was gonna say I do like what happens post it, but then that's Ghostface that's sitting in the seat there. So I got him at meh. I think it was a simple, easy one off. How about you, Lucas?
Yeah, I have him at meh too. Just that one though. Just that one.
All right. And Noah?
I also put him at meh because while this whole scene was good, it wasn't his serial eating scene. What do you want to call it?
All right. So we're gonna jump right over to the next officer there. So the next officer is the one that took the pipe through the face, and that is Officer Richards. And I'm gonna throw him right there and almost iconic. Because this is, I think, where the payoff from that scene comes from. Is you have the car going all over the place, and bam, right through the pipes. So it's almost a payoff to Final Destination 2 as well, because we see the pipe go through, and we actually have the unaliving stick place at this one.
We should rank some of those.
So Lucas, what about you on this one?
Yeah, same actually. Almost iconic, just for the fact that it's quick, it's brutal, and it really does stand out in this particular series of events.
All right. Noah, how about you?
I would say that this is probably the kill of them. See in there, it's gone, guys.
Fuck.
We tried, guys. We really tried. Anyways, this is the one for the movie. This is the big cojones. So I'll put that at iconic.
Oh, all right. So
the rebar throughout the entire body. I'm pretty sure he was twitching at the end too. Like I know it was like a body reaction, but like that little detail that they put in there. That's some good shit right there. That's a payoff for a sequel that had already very good unalive sequences. I'll try and keep it going. In the first one, because the first one had great sequences. This one didn't really have many big moments that I cared for where people getting taken out. Like I said, Dewey, that scene was great, and then he lived. This one, amazing. And he's not coming back.
Yep. All right, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm with Noah. I got him at iconic, man, because you see the whole thing. It was brutal. And the fact that the body was twitching while his hand was still on the gun. Oh, dude, it was awesome. And then even Haley's little comment, she was like, "Oh, it went through his eye." I just love that whole.
Oh, thanks. I really needed to know that.
All right. So our tiebreaker will be broken up by King Matthews. Officer Richards was lots of potential, in my opinion. He had a brutal death, but he didn't have any good character in the movie. All he did was guard Sydney, and he puts a fight against Ghostface. All right. Yeah. All right. So that's where we'll land. He'll land at almost iconic. So that's an interesting one there. So all right, very good. Lucas, Allie's.
Controversial for stupidity.
Okay, explain yourself.
From my remembering of the movie, she runs back to the car for some reason, right? Or was that Sydney? No, Sydney runs back to the car. Meanwhile, she's trying to get Sydney to run.
She was the smart one.
The thing is,
not really.
To be considered the smart one, she would have had to actually run instead of staying in that place. Granted, wait for your friend.
She would have had to live.
Yeah, for her to be smart, she would need to be alive past this sequence. And
that's not necessarily true. Other people's stupidity could be the reason for your downfall.
Yeah,
that is
you just named it. She was waiting on Sydney.
She's waiting on Sydney. But at what point do you stop waiting and leave?
I don't know, man. That was a very brief moment where she waited and then was taken out.
I don't know.
It was like less than a minute. It was like less than a minute.
Really fast per se. I think that's just more so movie stuff where it's happening.
That was an in the moment scene.
I don't know. I think she had plenty of time to just keep it trucking. Granted, I'm not going to fault her for being, a good friend and waiting for her friend.
We could all say that, but we could all say that, but realistically, how many of us would abandon people that we care about as they're doing something potentially stupid in a situation like that?
I don't know.
You could say it now. You could say it now. But how do you know whether or not you'd abandon someone for doing something stupid? Especially if they're someone that you care for.
I've abandoned people for less. Let's be for real.
Oh my God, for less.
But
I think my head would be on a swivel.
Yeah, no,
I would. I'd be looking around.
Why was she not looking anywhere else? She wasn't looking anywhere but at Sydney when there's a serial offer.
I would say, why would you not just be with Sydney? Because safety in numbers. That's my thing. Well. I would have been on Sydney's back.
She had the whole. Oh, don't do this, but I'm gonna wait over here. You do
let me. I'll answer that, and this might be a controversial answer, but us people of color, we don't go check for dumb shit. So we don't.
2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row.
We don't do stupid shit like that. So,
but if we are going to talk
we'll be like, hey, I'll wait right here. I'll wait right here for you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
2 weeks in a row. Look at this. Danny's not on the show, and Marcus is just reliving all of the moments. 2 weeks in a row.
To be fair, it would make more logical sense to group up. If you're gonna wait regardless, especially with a thing, Ghostface pops out of nowhere. He's been known to do that. He's like the RKO. I would say go back to back on this. Like, if you're gonna do something stupid and then you're gonna wait for that person to do something stupid, might as well make sure that they're covered.
No, you're right. I'm just telling you that's how we are.
I know. I understand. No, trust me. I understand. I wouldn't be fucking waiting. I would be move your fucking ass. Why do you need to know when you could still be alive? You're not doing anything to them. You're clearly not doing anything to this person. Leave.
This is the last time I'll bring up Scary Movie, and it's Scary Movie 2. If you remember the scene that I'm talking about, you'll know exactly why I would consider her dumb as fuck in this situation. And that's just you just keep pushing, dog. You don't wait for nobody. You keep pushing. If they're going to
loyalty is astounding.
If they're going to be dumb as fuck and check the killer to see if he's still alive, oh my God, is he still alive in the car that's wrecked? Run!
1960s Batman comic strip. Just slap the shit out of him. Like, get the fuck
real.
Move.
Scary Movie 2. Right the fuck past him, dude. Just get out of there. Yeah, no, I have her controversial. I don't know.
I gotta know who it is. There will be a reveal,
up an interesting point, right? Do you wait to see the safety of your friend and risk your life, as Hallie did, or do you just, like Lukas said, you get the hell out of there? You run as fast because
there are better ways to
your best friend just got you killed. That's what it turns out to because you were waiting there. Your best friend just got you killed.
Good job, dumbass.
Yep. Thanks for looking out for me, Noah. Where do you got her at?
So I'm also putting her in controversial, but not for that reason. Just because she got stabbed in the back. The guy before that we just ranked, like, get on his level. I mean, like, get some height to the face.
Intentional one, was it? Wasn't that just they crashed into the thing and it went through his eye?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That wasn't even really a Ghostface offing. That was just more of a shit luck, pal.
Well, I mean, he
was gonna get it regardless.
Try and take the cop out anyways. Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna let you live. I don't think they were gonna do that. You take out one cop, you're gonna have to take out the other cop.
Well, yeah, he was. Listen, he was going to die.
GTA rules. There's 2 to a car.
We're gonna have to talk about Sebastian's comment there in a second. We'll get to his after we talk about King Matthew's one on there. But all right, so we got 2 controversials. Marcus, where do you got?
I actually got her at, one because it's just Hallie. She was an awesome character, but
no biases.
No, I'm not being biased, but I'm just saying the whole build up of the scene. Again, you don't actually see her get offed. You see the aftermath, so I guess I would have to put it at controversial. Even though the sound design I think she got stabbed more than anybody else in the film. Because it was like 6 or 8 times, something like that. You hear it, but you don't see it. So yeah, I put it at controversial. Yeah.
I agree. I only agree because I don't think it's necessarily meh like the other ones that we have, but it's not almost iconic. So it's definitely in the middle of the road there.
Yeah.
CG joined us. Just he's back from his walk. Yep. What's up, CG? All right. So King Matthew, Hallie was lots of potential in my opinion. She just stops and waits instead of helping Sydney go remove Ghostface mask like Sydney was planning. That Ghostface mask should have came off right away. Yeah. In fact, look, for me, like if that happens, I'm not crawling over. I'm taking the seatbelt and wrapping it around the neck, and I'm just finishing it there.
Yeah, they missed the opportunity while they were still in the car to take him out.
You almost want to ask, like, does horror movies not exist in your universe? But then you remember, like, there was a whole horror movie marathon.
1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 7.
Yep. They talked about Halloween. They talked about pretty sure they mentioned Poltergeist at one point and The Exorcist. This exists in our universe, just not in our universe.
And so these people apparently watch them.
Stupid.
Yeah, right. And these people watch them. Yep.
Now, I guess in the moment we don't know how we would react in fight or flight mode. We don't know how we would react. But come the fuck on! You had a whole badass moment at the end of one, not in my movie, and then you shoot Billy, which we all agreed was a stupid way to take him out. And then you don't have these same inclinations when you try to take him out initially, anyways, because that was the whole reason, right? Like. She assisted in the crash of that car. And then she's like, let's just get out of here. Finish the job. The mafia would be disappointed in your work.
Finish it. Yeah.
Fatality.
All right, so we got straight controversial with that one. So who started us off with that one? No, that was you or I forget who started us off with that one.
I did.
Was that me? I started off. All right. No, so then Noah, you get.
It was a straight flush.
It was Lukas.
All right. Straight flush, baby.
All right. Before we get to the next one, this is where I'll come back. So Sebastian, CC Cooper had the best chase kill, or unaliving. Damn it. Randy, best jump scare, unaliving. Jada Pinkett had the most creative death. Drew Barrymore had the most brutal. Ooh, Drew Barrymore.
I gotta disagree with. Yeah, I gotta disagree with Drew Barrymore. Like I think it started it off. But Olivia was more brutal. Hell, Steve was even a little bit more brutal than Casey.
No, man, she was hanging from the tree with her.
She was hanging, but all you see is her get choked and get stabbed in the shoulder. Where Steven, you actually hear it, the sound design and stuff. And then I would even say, shoot, the bodega was more brutal than Casey in Scream 6.
I think any Scream.
What's her name? Annika's moment.
Yeah. Well, now look, you bring up Annika, right? So if you think of chase scenes, I would think of that whole. Do you lump Sebastian? You gotta throw this answer in there. So, like, is this whole chase scene where Annika falls to her death considered a chase scene because it's a group of them being chased? Because if we consider it as a group being chased, then that's probably the best one. But CC's is hard to beat. Like if I think of like nothing jumps out at me for chase scenes with Ghostface and an unaliving moment that happens at the end of it, where it's better.
I would actually, even though there wasn't an unaliving moment since Dewey survived, I would actually say the studio chase scene was a lot better with Gail and Dewey. Yeah.
I think that's my favorite chase scene of the entire franchise is in the studio of Scream 2, but nobody was unalive there. Oh, look, Sebastian answered. Annika. So unforgettable. Yep. Before we come off of this, let me see here. So we talked about the best chase. We talked about the most brutal, best jump scare. So is Randy the best jump scare?
That's a tough one.
I don't. It's hard to think of other ones right now. That's the thing. I think once I go down the YouTube rabbit hole once again for the month, I think I'll probably come up with something. But.
I'm torn between. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I was just saying.
I was gonna say I'm torn between Randy's jump scare, Officer. What's my man's name in Scream 4? No, Scream 4.
The
knife to the forehead.
Yeah, that one was pretty. That one was a pretty good jump scene. It is funny as hell. It is funny when he's. when he's looking, and then like the
but he just come out of nowhere. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good one. And then
and
I would even say the security
What?
in Scream 3, where Roman pops up behind him in Dewey's trailer. You know, that was a good one. Even though we don't get scared easy, I would classify that as a good jump scare. You know,
the Scream 4 one has potential to take the cake, in my opinion, as well, because like if you also put your eyes, I don't remember the name of the cops, so I'll be taking drinks for Scream 4, but the knife to the head, like in his shoes, you have to like think he's trying to react, and he's knowing now that he doesn't have enough time to react, and he's gonna get killed on a lot. Fuck. He's gonna get. It's just me. I'm the problem.
Oft. Just say oft. It's less. Yep. It's less syllables.
That's too many words to think about. Yeah, I don't. I think we'd have to get back to it after 6, because we're only on 2 right now, so now I'm only thinking about these 2 movies.
We've got a couple of weeks to go.
Yep. Yeah. Except for next week. Next week's WrestleMania. So.
WrestleMania.
Most creative? Anything jumps out to you? Most creative over Jadis?
The bodega, man. That whole sequence, that bodega was just awesome. Pure, just brutality.
Very good scene.
Annika, that was creative. You know what I mean? Like just gutting her and trying to disembowel her right there at the door. And then
that blade should have went through Annika's waist. Like a buck knife is what, 6 inches, Noah? Because we both have one. I think it's like a 6-inch blade.
Like 6.5, something like that.
Yeah, like her waist was tiny. So like that blade should have went right through. So
like say what you want about Bailey, man, but I still say Bailey is probably the most brutal. He had the most brutal unalive moments, man, than anybody. So yeah.
You and Bailey. I don't know.
I liked him in Shameless too, dude.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. We got any of the
comments? It was okay in Shameless.
All right. Oh, look at this. We got disagreement. The bodega was not cool. Very not Scream. I liked it because it was very not Scream.
Exactly.
I
That's
liked
what made it.
Yep.
He was a man on a mission, and he was like, "Look, I don't care who's in my way. I'm after these 2 girls. You in my way, you getting off." Yep.
Sebastian, just like if we didn't have the ending that we had, I think the bodega scene would be a lot better than it is. I just think that the ending spoiled a lot of great scenes and a lot of great things that happened in that film.
Well, except for what Melissa did. I love what Melissa did. So. But other than that,
All right, Noah, Derek. I'm gonna just drop it here until you make your vote here.
That one, that's interesting because it has such good build up, right?
Yeah.
It is it's such an intense scene, and then it just gets shot. and then it's like that over dramatic death. It's like relax, buddy. You're not going for the Oscar. Die. I don't know. I'll put it at controversial because it wasn't like he got shot. Big whoop.
Center mass. Wow, that's Raylan Givens, y'all. Before he was Raylan Givens.
Just saying, he wouldn't be awarded any. Mickey wouldn't be awarded any points.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, like you hear people that complain about Art the Clown using a gun. It's been done, right? Yeah, it's been done by slashers way before Art the Clown was using it. So
I will say the Tommy gun thing was cool though. Like he pulls out a Tommy gun. That was funny. Like just reminds me of Home Alone. Yep.
All right. So Marcus, how about you?
Yeah, I'm at controversial too, man. I wanted more. But again, the build up was great. The whole, is he a part of it? Is he not? I like the back and forth with Mickey. And then again, just the payoff. It was just shot center mass. That's it. That was kind of disappointing.
Lame.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You guys didn't have to sell what I was gonna say. I put it in med just for that because it's like, It was kind of just like, go ahead, Lucas.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the most interesting part about that was what he was like pinned up on, and that was it. Like that was okay.
Yeah, and Ghostface didn't even do it. His fraternity friends that did that.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that was originally
creative thinking. Okay.
Nope. Not at all. Ghostface just stumbled in. It's like, oh, look what I found. Bait.
I will say, good use of an opportunity, though. Good use of an opportunity.
Yeah, because he did pull him up and hit him until he dropped him back down. So yeah.
Yep. All right. So I got that at meh. So we got 2 controversials. We got 1 meh.
2
Lukas, where you got it at? 2 meh. All right. So we're gonna go to the comments for you guys to go ahead and break the tie. So we're at controversial meh, CG, King Matthew, Sebastian. You know, if you guys want to, or Scott, if you want to throw your votes in there real quick to break this tie here. We got at 2 and 2. We got CG at meh. So right
King
now
Matthew said almost iconic.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, he has lots of potential. Yeah.
All right. Wow, lots of potential as well as he was framed. Yep. All right. So let's see. A meh would bring it down to meh, and almost iconic would bring it back up to controversial. So that is where Derek will sit. Yep, that's where he'll sit.
Fair enough.
All right. So we got Marcus. Man, why couldn't Lukas start with this? All right.
Yeah. Let's get this one out of the way.
The most hated character in this franchise.
Let's aim for this one specifically in the barrel. I know how it's like a fish in a barrel. Let's aim for this one specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. Like the acting again too, like her movements throughout the entire final scene with the fake bricks being dropped on her and all that. Oh man, it was just so horrible. It was such a garbage scene.
We must slay the beast.
Did without her. We could have did without her that whole scene and just had Mickey. It would have been perfect. You know what I mean?
Yep. Like this unaliving for a Ghostface is probably as bad as Quinn's. Like I don't know which one is worse. Like the acting and over top acting for this one. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm there with
Quinn
you.
Lived.
Like Quinn was bad, but Mrs. Loomis is just abysmal, dude.
Yeah. Horrible, absolutely horrible. Lukas, I know what you're gonna probably say, but I'll give you the opportunity to say it.
I'll say it in semantics. It was fucking trash. No, dude, everything about this character just pisses me the fuck off. I hate Nancy Loomis so goddamn much. It's so hard not to just get excited to talk about how much I hate this bitch, but it's like
I care about my son after he dies.
Yeah. Come on.
Yep.
She's annoying. She's annoying. Her cover half the time doesn't really work. Granted, I didn't know the first time watching that it was Nancy Loomis until, she said, "I'm Nancy Loomis," but fucking again, it was like this one weird bitch pops up like every so often in the movie. She might have something to do with this, considering she's the only person not seen with literally any other character unless she's talking to them about something that has to do with their personal lives or something that he can use for later. It just comes down to bad writing.
Yeah. Marcus, you missed out on it last week when we were talking about Nancy Loomis came up last week too, but we actually kind of rewrote a better part 2. We're saying that if Billy survived, Billy and Nancy Loomis teaming up in part 2 would have been far better than what we got in part 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe I wouldn't hate the bitch.
If the script didn't get leaked, we wouldn't even have Mrs. Loomis. It would have been Derek and Hallie.
No, it was she was a part of that clique too. The one script that I seen, it was Nancy, it was Derek and Hallie, and then Cotton comes for the save, but then Cotton turns on Sydney. So there's
that was one of the drafts, but the original, the final draft, the one that actually got leaked, it was just the Cotton thing stayed, but they took out Mrs. Loomis altogether because she didn't sit well. So it was just Hallie and Derek as Ghostface.
All right. Noah, can you save her from the fucking trash? Not really, but where do you got her at?
Could you imagine if I just said iconic because of how good it was? Like just because we got to see it happen. Like, oh yeah. I'll put her fucking chest because I hate the character. But the satisfaction of seeing her die. Yeah, I'll leave it a fucking trash. I won't stir the pot. But that would be funny.
So I'll be the controversial person. Let's kick us off. I got Mickey at meh because of I love Timothy Oliphant. I hated the ending and the over-the-top performance at the end. Like, his facial reactions and stuff like the guy looked like he was having an orgasm talking. Like, "Oh,
That's the
oh."
point. He was
Yeah.
getting pleasure.
It was just
I
it was
loved it,
just
man. Mickey is one of my favorite Ghostfaces.
yeah, and you know what? He finishes in the top 5
They
when
kept
we do the polling. I can't
mid-shot
argue
for a
with it.
reason.
But this is why I backed Lukas the one time when Lukas said he was a fucking joke when we ranked all the ghost faces, and it's like I can agree. Like,
So
he got shot several times by his double crossing partner, and then he comes like "Ooh!" at the end. I was like, come on, really? Nah, nah. Lukas, where you got?
I have it in fucking trash. Yeah.
Oh, wow!
There's
You got him in
there's
fucking trash
not
again.
I'm so for real. I actually like Scream 2. I want you guys to know this. I actually like Scream 2. I fucking hate the Ghostface picks that they had for this movie. I don't know what it was. Again, like Dave said, love Timothy Olyphant, great actor. What the fuck was he doing here? Santa Clarita Diet was really good. Good example of Timothy Olyphant acting fantastically. This movie, no.
Yeah.
It physically hurt to watch like an actor that I actually really enjoy watching. Like anytime he's in any, like he was in Mandalorian and Boba Fett. Loved him in those 2 shows. Awesome that we got to see him. This movie comes and I'm just like I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see nothing of this character because it has literally no impact on the larger story of Scream whatsoever.
Yeah. You think if you think about the whole entire lore, it didn't really move the story like where people come back to talk about it, right?
Like another thing is like they did the whole he wants to do it for fame, yada yada. They did it better in 4. They basically rewrote their own Ghostface better in a different movie. So it's like, what's the point of having him now? Because I don't really care for it either way now. It's not new. It's nothing that I'm gonna be like, cool.
You know what? Honestly, if we went back and took that approach with doing the rankings, I think he drops even further for me on the list. Just because, like you said, Lukas, right? If we think about all of the Ghostface that are out there, like you have Billy and Stu, they're always going to be the top because they're the first. But then if you look at Nancy Loomis, we talked about the poor motive. Then we look at Mickey, even poor in motive because he wanted to be famous. He wanted to go to the trials and stuff like that. And that was just upstaged by Jill. It was upstaged by Jill. And then even Richie, as much as people hate Richie came along too, and he almost upstaged it too because he was like, I'm just going to rewrite the film because we need a proper film for the fans and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, I think he's upstaged by quite a few, even of the least favorite characters that are out there. So we got a meh, we got a fucking trash. Noah?
I'll leave him a meh. Just because, he got shot. He took a couple of shots to take down. I'll give him credit for that, but he also really wasn't in the movie, so I'm not invested in the character. Like he barely showed up. So like he got upstaged by Randy, and Mickey wasn't even the one that took him out. And then did he show up again?
Yeah, he was.
He showed up several times.
So he wasn't even important in the scenes that he showed up in, and then he's all of a sudden this psychopath. They could have played on that, but instead they did that with Cotton, and then that was just nothing. So, like, they focused so much attention on Cotton, and then it was like, oh, well, maybe you should have focused more attention on a main character.
A lot of Mickey's scenes were pulled from him, and they went to Derek. Like they took Mickey's character apart in the entire movie that we got because the dancing on the table, that was Mickey. A lot the fraternity prank, that was Mickey. So they took a lot of Mickey stuff and they put it over on Derek. So they essentially made 2 characters out of his one character. But I liked his character up until the end. I thought he was pretty cool. He was intriguing. I think Mickey's arc needed to be 2 films because I liked the best friend angle that he had, and we didn't really fully get to explore him as being Sydney's best friend. They touched on it a little bit, but that was the purpose of his character. He was actually Sydney's best friend over even Randy post the events in Woodsboro, and we just didn't get to see it fully. All right, so
Yeah,
Marcus,
that would be interesting to see, actually.
Right? Again, here we're rewriting again. We're rewriting it again.
So I actually have him at controversial. One, because I like the over the topness of at the end, because of the fact that Mickey is the only Ghostface out of everybody that was one already a serial killer before anybody, and he just took pure pleasure out of doing it for the hell of it. Like the whole trial thing, I think they threw that in there because somebody in real life that happened to around that time where they just wanted to get caught and wanted.
It kind of feels like a Ted Bundy situation.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot who it was. I think it might have been Ted Bundy or the Unabomber or something around that time. So that's why they did it. But again, Mickey, he just took pleasure, man. He was like the Joker. He just had fun. That's what I loved about it. And so the over the topness and the campiness of that final scene, I was cool with it because it was like that's who he was. That's who he really was. So the whole being a nice guy and friend was just a mask for him. And again, like everybody said, he took all those shots from Mrs. Loomis, and then took all the and then it took Gail and Sydney to take him out. So yeah, I got it that controversial.
Look, you.
To be fair, I think one or the other would have sufficed. I think them both. You know, like I think that was a little overkill, but at the same time, deserved. Shitty character, you know.
Not a shitty character. Man. Mickey is awesome, dude. Mickey is awesome. Love Mickey, man.
They didn't do anything with this character in that movie. That's the problem.
Yeah, there was a lot of meat left on the bone there for that one. Yeah. So it's another just properly unused character.
Another thing where it's like it gets into like rewriting territory is like if they had done the thing they did in like Scream 5 where they have that whole, well, I'm not the ghost, I'm not the offer, I'm not the, you know, and then you say like it's Mickey in this situation. You're right, because I am, and then he like off someone that would have been something. That would have been something, especially for the angle that he wants to take. And if he's that crazy, yeah, why wouldn't he just give up right as soon as somebody accuses him of being Ghostface?
I think the biggest negative of Scream 2, and I don't know if you all will agree with me, because of the leaks and everything, they were so rushed to just get it out there. You know what I mean? Because again, Scream 1 came out December of 96. Scream 2 came out December of 97. I forgot, I think it was like 3 to 5 drafts got leaked. So then they were just rushing to get the production done to get it out in December next year. So that's what hurt the film overall. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it was like I think there was like the way the dates broke down, it was like 11 months in between them, the way it broke down.
Yep.
So they did a big rush job on that one. So yeah, and the movie suffered. The movie suffered. They probably should take honestly, everybody should probably think about this too, because we've seen it with Saw. It's like you should probably put a 2-year gap between films.
Yeah,
I know fans want it every single year, but you get better quality if you put a little bit more of a gap in between them.
Quality like to this day, one of the things that still cracks me up, even though Scream 2 is my favorite of the franchise, like because of personal reasons, the fact that they put Hans Zimmer music from Broken Arrow in the movie, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, that was Dewey and Gail's theme. I was like, why are they playing music from Broken Arrow? Like it just didn't make sense. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. Let's do our final rankings for these here. So who's number 1? I'm almost fine with the way it's laid out.
Yeah, I'm cool with the way it's laid
out. I'm absolutely fine with the way it's laid out. I think it's hilarious that this movie doesn't have a single iconic kill in our eyes. No. I think it's absolutely hilarious.
Well, 2 of us. So that's where I'll disagree then, because I have the Mr. Police Officer man at an iconic.
Yeah, I had iconic. Yeah.
So I would probably put him first.
Well. That
in almost iconic.
I'm speaking as a group. As a group, we couldn't decide on one iconic kill.
That's true. That is fair.
And so that is very fitting.
Yeah, I would put the officer, Phil. Yeah, I will put Officer Phil and then Randy.
Yeah.
I debate that because Phil get 9 inches to the ear, and then it be
At least we got to see it. At least we got to watch.
Yeah,
we
at
didn't get to
least
see what happened to Randy.
we got
We
9
got to see
inches.
the peep show.
We got 9 inches.
The grace of softcore porn on the fucking Nerdbox.
Yeah.
It's the body twitch, man. It's the body twitching and Hallie's comment that puts it over Phil for me. So.
All right. Look, he took 9 inches to the ear. He didn't drop right away. Where this guy took over a foot to the eye, and he went down. So he had no chance.
He took several,
at least a meter,
rods
at least
to the body. Long, hard steel rebar to the face and body.
Oh,
he deserves his moment.
What my man saying? What's the movie? The Hangover. In the face. In the face.
In the face. In the face. Yep.
Oh,
all right.
See, if Mike Tyson's here, this would be a different story.
Yep. All right. We good with the whole Maureen, Hallie, and Derek situation here? All right.
Yeah.
I think Mickey does. I think Mickey goes up to number 2 here.
I put Mickey over Cece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can take Mickey over.
I
Cece
would too, but that's just because I said when we were ranking her, like I can very faintly remember that scene, but it's like it's not a memorable one. At least when we can say Mickey died, at least I can point to exactly how and why and where, and
Yep.
Yeah, like a weird.
Yep. All right, so I think that's how we finish off here. CG kind of puts a best for the fact that there's no iconic kills or any they that was decent says a lot about Scream 2.
Well, no, we
do.
No, and I. Yeah, we do. It's just everybody didn't vote on the
so collectively, no, but 50% of us so far have said that at least one of these should have been.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Like Toes. This isn't Hostile, my friend. So it's like
I did say Randy was iconic too, but me and Lukas said Randy was iconic too, but it didn't get voted on.
Oh, I said Randy was controversial because they didn't.
Well, I was the only one that said iconic. Yeah, because the build up.
Yeah,
happens.
It's going to be interesting to look back at this after we go through 6 to see which one is the bottom 2 when it comes to unaliving moments. Is it going to be Scream 2? Is it going to be Scream 3? Or is it going to be Scream 6?
I would say Scream 3.
I have a feeling 3 is going to be another no iconic situation because I'm going to be so for real. I can't for the life of me place anything super high.
Actually, there is
one.
Don't say it. No, I'm not going to say it. There is one.
Not next week.
Wait till next one. Yeah. There is one. And I think y'all may or may not. I mean, I think y'all will agree on it. But yeah.
All right.
Well, we all watch wrestling here, so we got to take a hiatus for WrestleMania.
Yeah, next week is WrestleMania week, so we will not be here for WrestleMania. But we do have some poll results to talk about. So last week, we got into a massive debate over who was the sexiest Ghostface, whether it was going to be Jill, whether it was going to be Schumacher. Lukas, what would your vote be, Jill or Schumacher?
Oh, so I actually voted in that poll. I put Stu, and I could already say just from looking at it when I voted, I have a feeling I know who won.
Okay.
But I'll leave.
So
that
it was on
for
Facebook and YouTube. There was 2 separate polls that we did.
Oh
this week.
yeah. Okay, I wasn't on the YouTube one, but I was definitely in that Facebook poll.
Okay. All right, but who would you vote for, Lukas? Or you said?
Oh yeah.
Stu, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Noah.
Stu. This is the whole. I'm the whole reason that this started. Stu.
We only got 2 choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, between the 2.
Thanks.
Because I know.
You know who I was gonna say overall in the entire franchise. Yeah. So Stu or Jill?
Yeah.
I know. Listen. I know it begs the homoerotic question, do I find men attractive? However, put that out of your mind. It's purely Jill or Stu.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, I gotta say Stu, man, because Stu.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
I gotta say Stu, man.
On the
was
Stu
just a lot of
train.
fun, dude.
It's a different type of train, though.
Man. And that
yeah,
Stu
I
was
would
a lot
go.
of fun.
I would go with Jill because I think nothing is sexier than somebody with a plan and someone who knows how to fucking execute it. Stu had no plan. Roman had the plan. Roman had the plan, and Jill had the plan. That's like when we talked about if we were to go back and rearrange all the different Ghostfaces. If you put Roman and Jill together, that is the unstoppable force. Is the two of them together? But
see, Jill to me was like so textbook sociopathic. You know what I mean? Like that's why I take Stu over her, because he's like you can't. You don't know. He's unpredictable, man. Stu was unpredictable. Even though he was a simp for Billy, he's still unpredictable. You know what I mean? So,
I like people. Yeah, I like people with ambition. I like people with drive. I like people with motivation.
If we're going based off who's sexiest, let me look. Give me a look at that brain beat and how it works. Like that's not what we're doing here. It's who's sexier. It's who's sexier, Stu or Jill? And the answer is Stu.
That's what makes it sexy for me. So let's
think about this too. That one scene when they were at the fountain. Stu knows what to do, because like when he broke down, like when Sydney, or was it Sydney, or
it takes a man to get a man,
where he was telling her how to disembowel somebody and gut them, dude, like he knew what to do. You know what I mean? Like this man, hey, he may not have had a plan, but he damn sure know how to execute. So
all right. So let's reveal. I didn't make a special graphic because I was busy all day today, or I would have made a special graphic for it. So with 59% of the vote on YouTube, so this is 59 to 41. Jill was voted the most sexiest Ghostface between the two. On Facebook, with 68% of the vote, that makes it 68 to 32. Stu Macher wins the vote. So our social media
higher percentage, baby.
Split. And when you add it all up, the winner with 52% is Stu Macher. He won
3 more
by
seasons.
4%.
Let's go! 3 more seasons.
Now, who's the sexiest out of all of them?
Who's the sexiest Ghostface out of them all? You can't include Melissa because she is not official.
I was going to say, well, put it like this. Who's the sexiest to ever put on a Ghostface costume?
Ah, Lucky Fee had to change it.
I had to change it. I had to change it. I had to change it. I had to change it.
He's got the height of a linebacker, and he's got the build of a surfer from Tron.
Yep, I'm torn between Sam and freaking shit, Amber.
Yo. Oh.
No?
Stu Macher. I don't care if she's won an Oscar.
No, I'm with Marcus. If Marcus is going on who's worn the costume, it's definitely Sam.
Oh, see that poll. That poll would get so angry. That poll would get angry quick.
Yeah, it would.
All right.
All
right, guys. Anything? I'm gonna miss Melissa and Scream. Hopefully, she shows up.
Yeah, man.
If not, it is what it is.
Based on the cast announcements, I don't think that's gonna save. I don't think more people is gonna save this film. I think that burying it will save the film. Forgetting that we thought of it.
You know, with the whole WrestleMania being next week and some of the fake stories about the controversies that are happening behind the scenes being true, and then you find out afterwards, like, no, we planned it. You guys just took the bait for it. It could be the same thing. It could be the same thing here
because of like Alexa Bliss with the Elimination Chamber and all the other stuff, like with the fake news. I don't know. Maybe. However, when are movie studios that like intelligent and think? No, they fired Melissa for stupid reasons. Everyone followed. They got 2 of them back, and then for some reason the entire cast and crew of the franchise for some fucking reason, and they think that that's gonna save it because they realize they fucked up, but they can't go back on it because it makes them look stupid. That's just my take on it. My take on it is that they fucked up. They realized too late that they fucked up, and now they're trying to fix it in the only way they know how. Dumb.
Scream Mania is running wild, and it's running wild than it ran before. I like it.
Oh, wait, that might be Kool-Aid, man.
Yep.
What would you all say is your only hope outside of Melissa and Jenna returning? What is your only hope or looking forward to?
That's a good question.
With the new one.
I'm not looking forward to anything of this movie so far. Oh, well, I mean, I guess Matthew Lillard coming back is like, that's cool, but I don't know. I think that if this movie is just shitty enough to where it doesn't like spike in its shitness to make me walk out of a movie, that is what I'm looking forward to. That it's not so bad that I walk out and waste the movie ticket, because they're not cheap anymore. So if I go there and I waste a ticket and I walk out, I'm gonna be pissed. So I'm looking forward to hopefully making it through the entire movie.
My only hope has been dashed on the rocks, and that would have been Mark Kincaid coming back, and they changed his character. So like I'm thinking now, I'm trying to figure out what would be the only hope, because I've wanted Stu back for so long.
Like for me, the only thing I'm hoping, because I like the actor because of Gen V and the boys, but I hope Asa Butterfield is Asa German is a Ghostface, because he's so good in Gen V. Like, dude is awesome as hell in Gen V. So yeah, and then the one episode,
got another legacy character.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing I'm hoping for. That's it.
Yeah. My only hope is Anna Camp is a Ghostface, and we get to see her badass side come out.
Yeah, I love her, man.
Yeah. Then that may give Melissa a run for her money.
Dude, I'ma just watch True Blood all over again just so I can watch her scenes.
Just watch her season. Yeah, just watch her episode. Yeah. All right, Lucas, how about you? What's your only hope?
No, it's just Matthew. It's Matthew Lillard. He's a joy to watch in pretty much everything I've seen him in. I really hope that doesn't change with this movie. So, that's it. I'm literally just looking forward to Stu possibly being more than likely being back in the flesh. And yeah, I saw that comment, and that's why I looked, because it's like, it's not so much putting him on a pedestal, because it's like I'm hoping that he's good in it. I'm not opposed to having disappointment, but I mean I normally don't want to be disappointed, so I'm gonna be hopeful and say that hopefully Stewie is gonna be a good part of the film. That's it.
Here's a fantastic question.
Everything else
can think they should replace.
Nope. I would be pissed if they recast him. Yep, I would be so pissed if they recast him.
Yeah, like that's good. No. Because then it's like, who would they use to replace the character? Replace Melissa Barrera, and then you'd also have to replace Jenna Ortega. And it's like, who would rightfully replace those characters and also be able to live up to the performances that they gave in the last two films? And the answer would be, there's really not anyone that I think of. Yeah. Because that chemistry ran beyond on screen as well as we saw. I mean, like, they were kind of bonded for each other more for the screen than the money, because they all walked away. So, I don't know.
Apparently not. Most of them are back.
Two of them.
Core 2.
Yeah, that's like
the dynamic duo is back. Yeah. Oh boy! All right, well, so we're gonna be taking off next week because WrestleMania is a 2-night event. I'm glad I get to watch both nights now. My plans have changed. But thank you everybody for tuning in. When we come back, we will be doing the unaliving moments from Scream 3. So we're almost halfway through this. Unless there's a lot of news that comes out over the next 2 weeks, maybe we'll push it back and we'll just talk about some news stuff in the horror world. So. Movies, if anybody's looking for movies to watch, The Amateur is out, Drop is out, so there's some decent movies that are out there. I thought The Amateur was pretty good. So everybody enjoy. We'll talk to you very soon. Have a great week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. It's Easter, WrestleMania, and Weed Day on that next Sunday. So everyone enjoy with chocolate and the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
the apocalypse.
Go wild.
I might have to come over some of that barbecue